Hello everyone. So today I wanted to make this video to describe about the outcome of these courses that I've taught and also sort of like an executive summary of the lessons that will cover the details of astrology as well as the cards of truth. Okay. So I just want to start with introducing this slide about the way I look at the cards of truth as well as the astrology system. Okay. So whenever someone approaches you for a reading, and if you're an astrologer, the word that you will use to describe something that is happening in their life is mostly you will say, I see this happening, right? So that word I see is connected to your sense of sight. Okay. And the interesting thing is, astrology, the overall context of Jyotisha is that it is called the eye of the Vedas. Okay. The way I see is that we have two eyes, right? So for me, the astrology part is the right eye, or I call this the Pingala or the yang. Okay. And the cards of truth or tarot is the left eye. It's the in part of it. And of course, when we have two eyes, we also have a third eye, and that is the intuition of the astrologer. That is also operating through the energy of God, or his sadhana, or his acquired merit. And in some sense, you also influence that as a client, because your merit should also be there to derive that answer from the astrologer. Okay. So that is why Jyotisha is called the eye of the Vedas. And the importance of the eye is enormous in the sense organs, right? It's so powerful. So what I wanted to tell about these two things when it comes to the eyes is that when it comes to astrology, in these courses, I will teach you how to integrate many systems of astrology to understand the static promise of a chart. Okay. So there are plenty of systems and techniques. So I will show how to integrate that with astrology. Then for the cards, I will show you how to integrate many cards of truth and tarot techniques to understand the static promise of a birth card spread. All right. So if you combine both of it, you will have a complete integration of astrology and cards to have 100% confidence in confluence with your predictions. Particularly, I'm talking about the static promise of the chart, the foundation of the chart, the boundary conditions of the chart. But whatever techniques I show, I will also mention here and there how you can extend that techniques to your yearly predictions or dashas and so on. Okay. The important message I want to give you from this slide is that astrology is a lot of technique based things. Okay. It's a rational part of your brain. A lot of methodologies, formulae, all those things go into astrology. Whereas the cards is a very intuitive side of these things. Okay. Especially the tarot boils down to your feminine side. The astrology boils down to your masculine side. Okay. So I wanted to swap this a bit. All right. So when it comes to astrology, I will show you how to use your artistic side to read the chart. That means how you can really connect to the chart and make connections that are important for the client, how to derive those messages and such. Whereas when it comes to the cards, I will show you how to use your logical side, how to use techniques there. Okay. So I sort of swapped this around to fill the gap that is there. All right. And I will explain that in the next few slides as well. Okay. So I hope you get the importance of the eye and also the importance of astrology and cards of truth. Because with only one eye, you can still see the world, but you can't, have the full vision, right? So if you're an astrologer, you will miss out on the cards. If you're a card reader, you will miss out on astrology. Okay. And my interest to motivate you through these courses is to be both. If you have both knowledge, you'll do fantastic when it comes to predictions. All right. So here I have a slide where I wanted to describe what are the kind of people that you will meet in this course. I named this course the 52 kind of people you will meet, right? So the 52 people are listed here. These are the first set of 52 people you will meet. In the future, when I teach other courses, I will change the examples. Okay. And since I deliberately made these courses focus a lot on cards of truth, and when it comes to astrology, it was heavily focused on Gemini astrology and the Rashi aspects, as well as the intention to determine career and professions. That has been the crux of all these videos and courses. I wanted to describe a bit on what kind of professions that I will touch upon in these courses. Okay, these are the people you will meet and which birth card they are and what kind of attributes they have. All of that you'll have to take the courses to know. Okay, so I hope that is the motivation as well. But when it comes to the professions, I just want to describe that I have a bunch of dozen professions at least here, and some of these personalities that are famous in the world, each one of them have over half a dozen professions most of the time, okay, or skill sets. So we have to go through all of that in these courses, and I will go to extreme details when it comes to the professions, okay. So of course the professions that I've covered are these example charts. Most of them are actually actors, models, TV host or appearance in the TV. So about 20 charts are covering that. I have administrators or presidents, 5 of them. Activists or humanitarian people, 8 of them. Scientists or inventors, 6 of them. Spiritual teacher or philosopher, 8 of them. Entrepreneurs or business tycoons, 6 of them. Authors or writers, about 20 of them. So many of these people have written books. It seems like it's human condition to write and to tell a story. So 20 of them are authors or writers. Then there are musicians and singers, few of them, 3 at least here. I have a psychologist, a psychiatrist, one of those. Then there is the athlete or sports person, 2 of those. Serial killer or miscreants, that is 1. Lawyer, judge or law protectors, 3 of them. Artists, painters or craftsmen, 2 of them. Okay. So for me, I normally like to study a lot from different contexts, right? So I mixed a lot of these examples from different arenas of life, so you get a full picture of the system that is there, the astrology as well as the cards and the techniques that I will share in the cards. Please look into this from a point of view of learning about your professions and career and timing them and such. Because there is the first question that comes to many astrologers when someone is struggling with their life and their path is, what kind of career would you recommend? Okay. So it's important you should know these techniques. All right. That has been one of the motivations for you to also take these courses, I would tell. All right. So next one, I go into the details of the astrology topics that I've covered. Okay. So this is very important because I want you to be familiar with what are the exact details that we will cover, and that will help you also to decide on taking the courses. Okay. So when it comes to astrology, the very first thing I show is an integrated approach where I demonstrate the use of time-tested and consistently working techniques. It's important because whatever works is what gives you results. So those techniques that I've shown to give success for me, I've integrated that into the astrology part. Okay. Then I show how to understand the static promise or boundary conditions of the birth chart using only rudiments of astrology. For me, I only play around with 4 important concepts in this course, and that is the crux or the basics that you should know. And you'll be really amazed at how much we can derive when it just comes to understanding the grahas, the rashis, the bhavas, and Gemini Rashi aspects. Okay, I teach approximately 20 hours of Maharishi Gemini's introductory courses. Okay, I also teach some fancy techniques about what are the things that he gives in his sutras and such. But the majority of the videos and the examples, the 52 examples that we will see, I have only focused on the Rashi aspects. Okay. So you'll see how I play around with the Rashi aspects, the Rashis, the Bhavas, the Grahas, only those 4. And you'll do wonders if you understand those 4. Okay. In fact, I can tell you one more point about that is, if I did not learn Gemini astrology or the cards of truth, both of them are very important when it comes to this, I would have quit being an astrologer. Okay, I can confidently tell you that statement because the idea is that the static promise of the chart you can only understand through Gemini astrology, and for predictions without the cards you can't do much. Okay, that is the capacity of both these systems. So if you learn only these two systems, you can do a fantastic job. Okay, so I'm motivating you to think in those directions, and many of the things will become clear to you once you learn the rudiments. Okay, instead of watching plenty of these videos that do not make any sense. Okay, it's important to go back to the rudiments and what the rishis have given from Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra as well as the Jaimini Sutras to get the idea. Okay, then I write here predicting with confidence. Okay, actually let me edit that. For me, confidence is not just enough. You must be able to predict with authority. All right, so I will teach you how to do that. That's the most important things. So I will teach you the shortcuts, the tips, tricks, and even elaborate details to have confluence with your predictions. That's the idea of astrology, and I'm really working on this way of taking it away from this term of pseudoscience towards science. So this is the way we have to approach, and I will teach you those techniques. Okay. Then I have another important point. I will show you how to logically think like an astrologer. Okay, it's very important how to actually think when you have questions in front of you, how to connect to the chart. All right. Then the interesting thing about astrology, and this is what I find over the years, is that an astrologer is also a storyteller of some sort, right? So if you have good authorship combinations or very good connections to Jupiter, Venus, and the Moon in your chart, you'll be a fantastic astrologer because you'll be able to tell a story. And what story are we telling here? Here we are telling the story as given by the script of God. Okay. So a good communication is also needed. A good, excellent Mercury is needed to connect to the chart and convey the message. And if you are writing reports and stuff also, it is the same. But underneath all of these is you should really know how to think like an astrologer. Okay. So that is a style that I approach with, and I will also describe these things. Okay. Next, how to churn maximum details of your predictions, really getting into the details of it. Okay. It's not only about making a prediction and telling that you will get married this year, also about how you will get married, where you will get married, what kind of person whom you will meet, right? What kind of career you will have, where you will continue to have these career options and such. Okay, those are the kind of details we're talking about. When it comes to even the simplest of the things, like if you are buying a car, what color car, all right? If you are purchasing, let's say, a house, what kind of house, and those kind of things can be detailed with astrology. Majority of this portion I will cover in these videos. Okay. Then how to read a birth chart and go with the flow. Like I said, I want to describe astrology from the point of view of intuition, how to really connect to the grahas, the rashis, and every chart that you have in front of you will be different. So you have to know where to start, how to counsel and such. But the very important point I want to mention here is that all these videos are real-time reading of an example chart. Okay. I just open the chart and I start reading. Nothing I know about those people that I've shown, 52 charts. All right. Here and there, 2-3 examples maybe I know from the past because I might have analyzed, but approximately 90% of the example charts, it is a real-time reading. Okay. There is also timestamps if you want to follow, and you can follow along with me. Okay. So how I read, how I approach and such. If you are struggling with not knowing how to connect, how to counsel, how to speak to people about their chart, all these things I cover. It's a real-time example basically. So if you're an astrologer also, this will help you because you'll see how it is done in practice in many ways. Okay. Then I cover Maharishi Jaimini's extremely or simple potent astrology sutras. All right. I say extremely simple. It's like a atom bomb. That's the capacity of Maharishi Jaimini's astrology. Without this, like I said, I would have quit being an astrologer. All right. Because it does not make sense to me. Most of the things that are there, is extremely controversial. There is a lot of corruption in the sutras that are there from the ancient times. It's only because of Maharishi Jaimini's astrology that I continue to be an astrologer, and of course the cards of truth. Okay. So this will help you to navigate the birth chart in an easy manner. So I cover this a lot. Okay. It's one of my favorite systems. It is my favorite system, I would say, along with the cards of truth. Those are the two things that help me to really narrow things down very quickly. Okay. And then I show how to use the Vargas or divisional charts in astrology to help you navigate or understand the subtle nature of events, the grahas, and predict with confidence. Very important point about the Vargas I want to tell is that I don't go super into details. I only show snapshot things, and that itself is enough for you to have confluence. Okay, I will show how to just learn very quickly from the Vargas what you need to know. Okay. Then when I mentioned about these 4 rudimentary concepts, remember in astrology there is a lot which we can do, right? You have the yogas, you have the transits, you have standalone systems that are there to give you enormous details and such. But for me, I do not want to go into those things. Literally, I do not use any of the major Brihat Parashtra Hora Shastra concepts. Okay, I do not go into the yogas and such. For me, I use the Avashtas a lot from Brihat Parashtra Hora Shastra. That I've taken, I will teach you a lot in that context. That does not mean yogas are not important. Not in this course, that's all. Okay. 70% of the work will be done with Jaimini astrology. That's what I want to tell you. And this is the confidence that you will get if you take the Jaimini Sutras courses. Okay. Then I show simple techniques of using Ashtaka Varga for static predictions, use of Bhava Bala for static predictions and judging the 12 bhavas of a person's chart, use of Lajitadi Avastas for static predictions. It's extremely important. Okay. So I use the Avastas a lot and you'll see how to really put it in practice, especially when reading the birth charts. Then I show how to use Shadbala for judging the boundary condition or static strength of predictions. Okay. Then use of Vimshopaka for static predictions as well. Again, we are all talking from static point of view. Then I show the use of Kendra Kona Raj Yogas. This is from Brihat Parashtra Hora Shastra. Very simple techniques, but that itself is enough for you to get a lot of insight from the chart. Okay. And these are like the core principles of Brihat Parashtra Hora Shastra, which you should really understand. And from that, we can derive the fame, success, and power of a person in the world. Okay. Along with Jaimini principles, if you combine, you'll have a solid prediction already. Then I show the use of Parivartana Yogas for amazing predictions and understanding the major life script or themes of a person's chart. This is extremely important, the Parivartana Yogas in astrology. I would say it's an understated principle. Okay. In fact, in this last slide, when we go through this, I will explain something about special thing in this course. There, the Parivartana Yogas will help you a lot. Okay. Parivartana Yogas are a script that is written already. And if you miss the Parivartana Yogas, no matter how much you learn about the horoscope or Jaimini astrology or Parashri astrology, you will bungle your predictions. Okay, because this is actually a very powerful technique. It's an underestimated technique, I would tell. Okay. Then with respect to the Parivartana Yogas itself, I show some new techniques and that is some revelations. I've experimented with that. And there are some subtleties of the Parivartana Yogas as well, which many people may not know. So that also I cover in the presence of other yogas of the chart. Okay. And here yogas are not the 100,000 yogas of Brihat Parashtra Hora Shastra I'm talking about. In the presence of some very powerful yogas that are there in the chart, like Raj Yogas and things, very simple ones, how the Parivartana Yoga will play in that context. So I will describe that as well. Okay. So next, I also show you how to confidently determine the skills, career or vocation of a person using astrology. Okay, many techniques, including the Jaimini Sutras. Then I describe the nature of disease and death that is there when it comes to a person, predicting the nature of disease and death confidently using medical astrology. Some very simple techniques, simple examples. If I have to teach medical astrology, I will have to make another 300 videos. But I'm not going to do that. But the very simple ones you can see, which will stand out. Okay. So I will describe that ad hoc when we go into those examples. Then the most important ones here, understanding the personality analysis of a person, right? That's the one, because that's the one that will show the capacity of a person to navigate through the ups and downs in the world, right? Then the extreme subtleties of influence of grahas on the personality of a person. There is a lot to this, so I will explain some important subtleties, okay? Then predicting mental, emotional, spiritual and psychological illnesses of a person with confidence again here, okay? Do not hesitate to make predictions when it comes to these things. So I will show all those in many examples, all right? Then simple techniques to predict abundance of gains or fortunes or assets and wealth of a person. Very simple ones, okay? Rudimentary ones, but the capacity of those techniques is so powerful that you cannot miss the results. It is so easy and you will learn a lot from that simple techniques itself, okay? Then I show the high success rate planetary combinations that guarantee 100% fame, success, power and authority in the world. I've seen this to work on so many charts, so this is a technique that I will show you as well, particularly when it comes to authority and power, okay? Then some interesting techniques about the nodes. How can we miss Rahu Ketu? Without Rahu Ketu, we cannot do readings, right? So the nodes, in that I show the extreme subtleties of using Rahu Ketu in the chart, their influence of the personality, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual and psychological well-being of the person, how it can impact them. Also I will cover in the Rahu Ketu part, okay? So if a Rahu Ketu course is something that I really wanted to teach actually from a very long time, along with a psychology course, unfortunately, as you might have seen, in 2018 I wanted to start. It got delayed and now in 2022 I'm launching it. So when I was beginning to teach in 2018 itself, I had approximately 300 odd videos that I wanted to shoot. And now I made this course. This course is not even part of that 300 videos, okay? So there is at least 700 to 800 videos worth material that is there in my head. Somewhere I have to make it happen at some point. So Rahu Ketu is one of those things that I really want to teach in a different manner and how it will impact in today's modern day psychology and stuff. But I could not cover much. But in these courses, I cover some interesting methodologies, techniques that you can learn as well, okay? Then predicting arishtas, fatalities, accidents, and some tips regarding longevity of a person. Okay, it's very important you learn this when it comes to negative events of a person's life. Again, longevity, I've not taught any major techniques or anything. Simple techniques are there for all these negative events that can easily help you see the fatalities in a person's chart, okay? Again, this is from the static point of view. If you see that there is the combination for all these fatalities in the chart, you can already advise your clients of how to tackle them, okay? Then, understanding and predicting the nature of spouse, marriage and children, very important. Everyone come to astrologers for these things. So you must know this, and the fundamentals are there in these courses, okay? Then of course, when you have spouse, children and marriage, can also lead to negative events related to that would be predicting divorces, loss of siblings, children, spouse with 100% confidence. There are some techniques that really make it very apparent, and those techniques are discussed in these videos, in these example charts, okay? Then predicting nature of death of siblings or spouse or children, how they die and what are the reasons for their death and so on, okay? Then there is the simple techniques to see denial of marriage and children in the chart with 100% confidence, okay? So many charts, we will discuss all these examples, how marriage is denied, how children are denied, even if they get married, how they lose their spouse, or if children are dead, what happens for those things and such, okay? Point is, all this you will probably have learned, or there are a lot of YouTube videos also teaching that. But here I show it consistently working with the same techniques with 100% confidence how you can do. Okay, that's the main thing you have to take home as a message. Next, I go into the details of judging the person's life purpose and spirituality in the chart. Very important. Many of you are on this path of astrology, means you will be interested in spirituality as well. So you'll see what are the ones that are causing you problems, how to tackle that, and what can help you to navigate into the path of spirituality also I discuss. Okay. Then judging a person's spiritual capacity for moksha or liberation. Are they really spiritual or tricksters? That also you can determine. Okay. That also I discuss. As I showed, there are at least 6 or 7 spiritual philosophers and gurus in this course that we will discuss, and you'll see the subtleties there. Okay. Then on subtleties of judging the disruptions to a person's life purpose and spiritual path, and what can really disrupt their dharma basically. Okay. When it comes to dharma, I really wanted to teach another course on that, but in this I cover as much as possible that you should know. Then we will have a dedicated course at some point on that as well. Okay. Next, judging losses and negative events as in the static promise of the chart. For instance, loss of a sibling, loss of parents, loss of your vehicle, loss of power and authority. All these things can be seen, and that I will discuss from a static chart point of view. Okay. Then the subtleties associated with making those predictions on negative events with confidence. Even though there are these combinations that will be there, many charts may indicate those combinations. But how do you distinguish whether it will really happen or not? That is the thing that you have to break even at some point, right? And that I will also show. Some other interesting things will be using the 7 chakras or energy centers in the body to make astrologically accurate predictions. So I don't think many people show you how to do this. So I will introduce these things in these courses. Okay, how to judge the chakras in the body. All right, the energy centers that are there. Then the subtleties involved in understanding the grahas and their chakras. That is also very important. You'll see how the grahas are connected to the chakras and what will happen to the chakras and the grahas in some sense. The interdependency I will discuss. Okay. The subtleties involved in understanding the grahas, their chakras, and combining them with the bhava cusps to determine the fate of the bhava. This will give you an idea about the concrete manifestations of those bhava cusps. Okay, it's the extension of the previous concept. So I will show you how to understand the bhava cusps when it comes to the chakras as well. Okay. So these you only have to get into the courses to know what they are. All right. Then use of natural age periods of the grahas to understand the static promise of the chart. Predicting rise and fall of a person during a natural age of the planets. Next, use of maturation age period of the grahas to understand the static promise of the chart and making predictions at those ages. Predicting rise and fall of a person during the maturation ages as well. You will not believe it when I say that 32 and 33, these 2 points, you will do a tremendous job as an astrologer. Okay, if you know that. So I will discuss how to really see those important maturation and natural age periods, what is really going to happen, how success can suddenly appear and disappear from a person's life as well. Those 2 also I will discuss. Okay. Next, understanding the power of the grahas to manifest the ishta and kashta, likes and dislikes, and shubha, ashubha, auspicious and inauspicious events of a person's life. Okay. Not from the context of view of yogas. I'm not going to do yogas here. There is another simple way of using this, so I will show that. Okay. And we will combine all this with the cards. That's the important thing that I want to show. We will combine the ishta, kashta, shubha, ashubha with the cards, and we will combine all these things that I discussed so far with the cards. Okay. Then one of the highlights of this entire course, the point number 35, which is extremely important, I would tell, and many people approach me that they want to learn about birth time rectification after they saw the videos that I shot on Carbina's channel long time ago. I do not have so much time to do that, but I show 52 examples of birth time rectification, literally. Okay. Why did I tell 52 examples? Many charts we have their birth times. Okay. It's not like they don't have their birth time. We have accurate birth time for, I would say, at least 70% of the charts in this course. However, all information that you know about those people or about that person is useful for rectification. So you will see practical examples of that in this case. Okay. So when it comes to birth time rectification, there are two things. One is the broad birth time rectification, then there is the fine birth time rectification. So this course, I discussed the broad birth time rectification with 52 examples, which means everything that you know about a person you can use. All right, literally the finest of the details you know, the better. Okay, so I discussed this with four simple concepts: bhavas, grahas, rashis, rashi aspects. That's it. And you'll do a tremendous job with birth time rectifications if you know these four concepts. Okay, and this will also help you to narrow down this huge chaos and dilemma that we have in astrology community about the Ayanamsha crisis. Okay, so if you learn this four things: rashis, grahas, bhavas, rashi aspects, only these four, if you learn, right, you will even narrow down which Ayanamsha you want to use. Okay, that is the main message that I want to give you in this last point, that anything and everything that you know about a person is useful for rectification. Even when you have a accurate birth time, you can reconfirm those events. So I will show you how to reconfirm those events. Okay, and only using the static promise, no transits. Literally, I don't even open the transit screen of Kala. Okay, so transits I've already shown on the other videos with Carmina at some point. There are even more things you can do with transits, but for now we'll focus on static birth chart point of view. Okay, I think this is one of the main learning things you can take home from this course, the birth time rectification from a broad point of view. All right, anything and everything you know, it will help you. So you will see that you will be amazed at the accuracy of the rashis, the bhavas, as well as the events that the person goes through, and we will sort of reverse engineer the birth chart of the person. Okay, and I will also show how to use the cards, and I will also show how to combine all these predictions about a person with the cards and astrology for birth time rectification. Okay, it's very important you get this idea. All right, so if not anything, just this will add value to you, a lot of value. Okay, as an astrologer, even if you are an advanced astrologer, it will help you a lot. Okay, so that was all the astrology topics that I covered. Next, for the cards of truth topics that I cover. Okay, so all the content of the previous slides 3 to 5 that I discussed will be used in the cards. I will show all of those in the cards. Most of them I will cover. Okay, so there is no need to repeat that. So I put all the content. Okay, so much of cards information in a new ways will be revealed. Then I will show how to use the cards to determine the career and skills of a person. Some simple tricks and clues that will help you see the career from the cards of truth point of view. Very quickly you can determine the career with cards. Not always. There are some limitations, but when you know how to use it, you can do a fantastic job. Okay. Then I will show how to integrate the Vargas and use them with the cards of truth. Okay, that's very important because the Vargas are the ones that will distinguish even people who are twins, right? Without the Vargas, you can't do a good job as an astrologer. So I will show how to combine Vargas with the cards of truth. And all the 52 examples, we will do that. Okay, not heavily super intense techniques of the Vargas, some very fundamental basic principles from the Vargas, but as much as needed to make sense of the chart. Okay, make sense of the card spread in this case. Next, I'll show how to use Maharishi Jaimini's techniques with the cards of truth. We will integrate that. Actually, Ernst has already thought that, but I will take it a little bit further. Okay. Then I show some very fancy techniques, and I call this the magic of the face cards and semi-fixed cards. And to know what they are, you really have to take the course. Okay. Somewhere here and there, when it comes to Paramahamsa Yogananda's chart, I might have hinted, I might have thrown that as an example in this YouTube videos. You can look into that. But please pay attention to this when it comes to the card spreads and take the courses to learn more about them. It's very useful technique, okay? Then I call the magic of the numbers and the pip cards. And what this magic is, you only have to take the course again to learn. This is some of the nice things that I found when I was playing around with the cards, okay? Then I will also show how to determine the sexuality of a person through the cards and astrology. Okay, both. We will see all kinds of different sexual orientations of people when it comes to cards and astrology. Okay. Then, predicting separation or divorces, extramarital affairs in the life spread. That comes to the relationship part of life. Okay. And last but not least, I will show you how to combine and chain card events for predictions of a life spread. Okay. What do I mean by combine and chain? It means you only have 14 cards that are there in the birth card spread of a person, but they will have at least 5,000 to 6,000 events in their life if you start from the day one, right? But majority of them you should know. At least 100 major events will happen in a person's life in one lifetime. So it is that 14 cards only that will give that, because it has to be in the life spread to give it, right? So I will show you how to combine and chain those card events when it comes to predictions of the life spread itself. Okay. Again, we are only talking about the static promise of the life spread here, or the queen spread, right? So these are the main things that I cover in the cards. In addition to that, I also cover the previous astrology topics when combining it with the cards. Okay. So I hope you have now a full picture of what you will learn. Okay. Then you can decide on how you want to take those courses. All right. So that brings me to the course structure and the pricing model. I want to discuss this a bit. That's why I had to give that introduction to this. Next slides. So here you will see the course structure and what are the courses that I've announced for now. Okay. And the extreme details of all those courses also are listed here. So there are 6 courses as of now. Okay. That's the introduction course with all the fundamentals of the cards, Gemini astrology and Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra astrology and other astrology principles as well. Okay. So in the introduction course, I cover all the rudiments and fundamentals from scratch. And this is one of the reasons the launch of the course also was delayed, because I actually finished all the videos and the programming and everything last year itself. The editing, of course, took half of my life in this past years. Then the introduction, I wanted to readjust and remodel for this course because I was under the impression that many people will know the fundamentals of astrology, the cards, as well as the Jaimini Sutras and things. Then I thought, okay, I mean, how many people really do take these things? So I wanted to reshoot that, and I spent a lot of time on those things in the past. So now I'm happy with the introduction content as well. Okay. So introduction covers all the fundamentals that you want to know, and whatever I need in the advanced concepts or advanced courses, I cover in the introduction. Without the introduction, you can't move forward. Okay. So the introduction course has approximately 65 hours of content with 76 videos, and the cost is listed here. Okay. So I've broken down each course into how many videos are there for astrology and cards of truth. Okay, like I said, it's the two eyes, and for me, I need to cater to both the astrology community as well as to the cards students. So I had to give equal importance to that. So the astrology videos are approximately 43 of them with duration of 35 hours, and cards videos are 33 of them, duration of 30 hours. So if you combine, you get 65 hours of content with 76 video lessons. Okay. So the course is modeled in such a way that you can pay for the course and you'll have 1 year of access. And after that, you'll have to renew the course by paying $49. And I will explain why you need to renew in the next slides. Okay. So the spades are the second part of the course. And in the spade suit, there are 13 cards that we will cover. So the total number of videos in the spade suit are 50. And the total length of the course is 40 hours. Approximately 20 hours of astrology, 20 hours of cards of truth, 21 videos related to astrology, 29 videos related to the cards of truth. Okay. And of course, here also you can pay for 1 year of access and then renew it accordingly. All right. Next we have the heart suit, again 13 cards, and the total number of videos here is 56. The total length of the course is 39 hours. Approximately 19 hours of astrology and 20 hours of the cards of truth. Next we have the club suit, and here the total videos are 66 in number. Total length of the course is 44 hours. It has approximately 22 hours of astrology, 22 hours of the cards of truth. Okay. The videos for astrology are 29 and 37 videos for the cards of truth. So like I said, I heavily gave importance to the cards videos. And mostly in astrology, we cover all of the fundamentals and the Jaimini Sutras and such. And again, Jaimini Sutras, I'm not talking about the exact things that we are going to study from Jaimini Sutras. As I mentioned, bare minimum Jaimini Sutras are enough to uncover a lot about a person and the chart, and I will show that, okay? So even with that, you can see that I've covered so much of ground and so many hours of content in just astrology, all right? Next, we have the diamond suit. In this, the total videos are 74. Total length of the course is 58 hours. Approximately 29 hours of astrology, 29 hours of cards of truth. Okay. Then lastly, I have the conclusion. And here it's the advanced techniques and homework and all those things. This is the shortest of the course that I have. And the total number of videos in this course is 6. Total length of the course is only 4 hours. So it has 2 hours each of astrology and cards, with 3 videos of astrology and 3 videos of the cards. Here's the thing. It's not that this is a short course. The entire culmination of all these courses is in the conclusion. Okay, so you cannot say that it's a short one. Without the conclusion, you will not be able to appreciate the rest of them as well. Okay. So I want to explain a bit on how the model works. And this is the list of courses. Okay, then I have a list of memberships that I will describe next. The way I've structured this is that without taking the introduction course, you cannot purchase the spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds, or conclusion. Any of the courses you cannot. So you have to move from introduction to the spades, spades to the hearts, hearts to the clubs, clubs to the diamonds, diamonds to the conclusion. That's the only way possible in the track of this learning. There is a reason I did that. Okay. Because most of the content is interdependent. Okay. Without understanding the introduction, you can't even touch the spades. All right. Without understanding the spades and the concepts that I've introduced in the spades, some astrology content there, some cards content there. Okay. You cannot go to the hearts because I will not repeat some of the content that is introduced here in the spades. So if you go to the hearts directly, you'll feel like it is going over your head, those concepts. Okay. So you do not want to approach it like that. Particularly when it comes to the clubs and the diamonds, those are the most advanced of the videos. Okay. So interesting enough, the way I started is in the introduction and half of the spade suit, I think until the 6 of spade, started the vehicle, you can say. Then the second half of the spade suit, I take it to gear 1. The heart suit, I take it to gear 2. Then the club suit, I take it to gear 3, and the diamond suit is in gear 4. This was not intended, it just happened. High quality content as well as the most heavy technique centered content in the club and the diamond suits. It will go over the head even for the most advanced of the astrologers. I'm telling that because I was re-editing those videos myself and I found that I could not even grasp the content myself. The reason is, when I sit in front of a chart or a card spread, in that flow, Goddess Saraswati is entering and doing the work that she has to do. It's not me that is doing any of those things. So when I watched the videos after a few months or something like that, it was literally appearing to me from where did I bring those ideas or concepts, okay? So clubs and diamonds, you'll have to approach it only after taking the spades, hearts and introduction. That's very important to note this, okay? So yes, for now, it is correct that if you have understood, you can only purchase the introduction course. And after that, you can purchase the spades, then the hearts, then the clubs, diamonds and conclusion. Okay. Only after you purchase the spade, you can purchase the hearts and so on. But there is the other option of the complete certification course, and that has a total of 328 videos. That is, all these modules put together is 328 videos approximately. Then the total length of the course is approximately 250 hours. Okay, that is just 10.2 days in a binge watch. Okay, so if you want to watch in one shot, you can do it. So that possibility is also there to take, and the cost is actually $2,398. But for helping many people to sign up in the beginning, I have a discounted price of $1,999 for 2 years of access. That is a $500 discount. That will be until the 31st of December 2022. After that, I will remove the discount. Normally, there is nothing to discount in these things because you'll see that there is no wastage of time even for 1 second or 1 moment. It's pure astrology, core astrology, no bullshit approach. Okay, so I really encourage you to take if you are a serious student of astrology. All right, then the other courses, if you take them as standalone, you can see that you have to renew them on a yearly basis. But if you take the certification course, I made it a bit relaxed. I give 2 years of access, whereas the other courses have 1 year of access. Okay, that's the advantage. So you benefit a lot. If you're able to afford to pay for the whole courses, you may do that. Okay. And I want to explain a bit on the pricing model also, because if I don't put this point across, many people will think it's priced in a different context or they may misunderstand this. Okay. So if you take the overall content and number of hours that is there, right, and you divide that, you get approximately $6 per video. Okay, it's not too much if you think of what is there. All right. In comparison, if you went to any astrologer, approximately in today's day and age, they will charge at least $100 to $150, right, for an hour of their reading. Or if they are teaching you, they will at least charge $50 per hour. Okay. So you can do your math and you can see the value that these courses are going to bring. You can be your own astrologer. You can learn the content at your own pace. Okay. In my opinion, there is no astrologer better than you yourself, because you will see the chart, you will apply the technique to your chart, you will learn better. Okay. So that's the recommendation from my side. Then, of course, there is the possibility for subscription monthly also, right? And this is no different from the monthly subscription. I want to clarify that a bit, because in any monthly subscription things you go for, you will at least pay $30 to $35 per month, right? And people may teach 4 hours per month, 4 videos or 5 videos. It is the same. Okay, you do the comparison, you do the math, you will get the idea. The amount of video lessons, amount of hours of content, like I said, no content is useless. Okay, everything is pure astrology and cards, and a lot of new addition that is there, not of what Ernst has thought or other astrologers might have thought. So I want you to make your call after understanding these things. All right, I want to keep everything upfront and clear when discussing such things. So that's why I presented this slide, and I took the time to also make this slide to give you this comparison. Okay. Then the model for the courses is designed in such a way that you can also opt for split payment option. Okay. So if you cannot afford to pay directly for the courses individually, you can also pay a split payment of dividing it across 2 months. Okay, that possibility is also there. Then the courses can also be purchased in a standalone. Like I said, you do not need to purchase the certification. You can purchase them as blocks. That's also possible. Then you may only renew those courses that are needed. After you finish, let's say, the 1 year of access, if you have a good memory, you do not need to renew the course. You can write down, you can compile your notes, and then you're good to go. Only renew whatever is needed. Okay. Then in the courses model, the prices are not discounted for the courses. Okay. Yes, the certification is discounted, but not the courses. So there is no discount on this. All right. But don't be disheartened. There is the next one. So this is the list of memberships also that is possible. And the way I designed this is I wanted to combine some courses and make it available for students or takers of these courses to enjoy a bit of discount in the beginning. So I combined them and made memberships on the website. There are mainly 4 memberships. Okay, and I used the suits as example, the spades, hearts, clubs and diamond membership. And it is the same content. There is no difference in the content wise, same hours, same duration and such. But in the membership, you can combine them. So in the spade membership, I've combined the introduction and the spades part. That gives you approximately 126 video lessons and 105 hours of content. If you are going to pay it normally and buy 2 courses, it will cost you $900 approximately for 1 year of access. Whereas in the current window until 15th of September, I've discounted that for $749. Okay, so you can have a $150 discount until 15th of September if you would like to pay for the spade membership. And you'll have access to introduction course and the spade suit. Then there's the heart membership and the club membership, which is the same as the heart suit courses and the club suit courses. No changes here. They both are the same in price as well. Then I have the diamond membership. In this, I've combined the diamonds and the conclusion. So that is approximately 80 videos of 62 hours of content. And it gives you 1 year of access. The actual cost would be $598, but with discounted price of $549 until 15th of September. Okay. So in the membership plan, you have the option of having discount. And that's why I introduced the membership plan. I took some time and thought I wanted more people to take the first part of the membership at least and get to experience the content. So I created this model as well. Okay. And yes, you are right. If you have thought already that you can only purchase the spade membership as it stands now, or you can purchase the complete certification course or the membership. Because after the spade membership, you can go to the hearts, then to the clubs, and then to the diamonds. You cannot go directly and purchase the hearts, clubs, or diamonds. It does not work like that. Okay, so it's because the content is interdependent. I would recommend you to take the same steps as the suits. Okay, you have to evolve in the same direction as the suits. All right. The difference I hope you get between the courses and membership, the advantage is that you can purchase the memberships as standalone as well, and you can renew those memberships also as needed for prices that are discounted in the membership model. Okay. One thing I also want to tell about the renewal part of the memberships is that my recommendation, if you want to start now, would be I recommend you to take the spade membership. All right, because it's value for money. You learn a lot of all the astrology as well as the spades, and many important content is already covered here. Okay, then you can go to the hearts, clubs and diamonds. And if you were to renew the introduction and spades as courses standalone, it would cost you $100 approximately for a year of access after the expiry happens. But if you take the membership, you will be able to renew it at $79. So there is some discount there also. Okay. Then my request would be, if you follow the membership path when you sign up, stick with the membership path for the hearts as well as the clubs and the diamonds. If you take the course path, you may follow the course trajectory, okay, that I've described in the previous slide. All right. In case you still have some questions about courses and membership, feel free to contact me directly. So I'll be able to discuss that with you. Next, I also want to bring some clarity on what you're really paying for so that there is no confusion, misunderstandings in this sense. So first thing is, yes, you're paying for the course material. All right, the video lectures, everything is a video lecture. There is no audio at all. Okay. Then the video lectures have 1 year of access or 2 year of access. Once they expire, you just have to renew them for a small fee. And this fee is not going to my pocket. Mostly it is actually for overhead cost, which I will explain in a bit. All right. Then there is the assignments and quizzes that I will add after the first year. I'm not going to do that this year because I'm completely burned out and exhausted. I will not have the time to do that. I will do that when I go to the second year of renewal. When you do those renewals, I will have the time to add the assignments and quizzes. But definitely it will be added. Okay. Like I said, renew only those courses that you need. No need to renew if you do not need to. Okay. For me, for instance, always have a good memory. I don't even keep notes. I don't feel the need to renew. Okay. That's why I kept it with my thought and my perspective in mind. So I allowed you to renew only what you need to renew. Okay. And the idea here is it's a Netflix model. All videos are available, no waiting time. That is also what you're paying for. If I wanted to, I could have shot all these videos and released it one after another. But I did not have the time for myself like that. That's a lot of high maintenance. I prefer to do work at once and finish the task. So that is the reason I kept it as a Netflix model. So also note that all videos are available. You do not need to anticipate, have this longing for the videos and such. That also is possible here. Okay. Then of course you learn at your own pace, or you can binge watch as well. If you want, you can continuously learn. In fact, if you are a professional astrologer, I would recommend you binge watch. Okay. The reason is that it will help you to reiterate all these concepts over and over again. I do only use the fundamental concepts over and over again. So it will register in your mind in a very strong manner. Okay. I would recommend you do that. Then of course you're paying for the learning support as well. And that is a dedicated forum to discuss and ask questions. As much as possible, if I know the answers, I will help you. Okay. Then only for enrolled students, of course. It's not going to be for everyone to access the forum. I wish I could do that, but I do not have so much of time to assist everyone. So it will only be for enrolled students who have paid for the videos and the courses. Okay. Then to maintain transparency, I have to discuss the bit of an overhead cost that is there. All right. That is of course, the website hosting. Then videos are hosted elsewhere as well. It's not on the website. There is the content delivery network. All videos are served from elsewhere because to maintain speed and content, I prefer to do it this manner. Then there is some at least half a dozen or more plugins that go into making all these things work. Okay. So that is some importance I gave in the presentation of the courses, the structure, helping you to navigate and track your learning experience. So I gave a lot of preference to that, but everything in the website design and WordPress community these days is charged monthly, charged in yearly basis. So we have to unfortunately cover all these overhead costs. Okay. That is the renewal. If you are renewing, you're only paying for these things. Okay. Then of course there is the software and editing as well. Even Adobe wants to keep it yearly basis for all those things. So I have to unfortunately ask your support in that sense. Okay. So I hope you get the idea what you really are paying for and what it is that is covered and what is not covered in these videos and such. Okay. Of course, I tell that you do not need to renew, but the content is so heavy that you will have to watch it at least a few times before you can grasp it. So a renewal would most likely happen and you will need to watch several times before you get the full idea. And I will already mention one point about the videos, because the videos are not for someone to just play it and go sleep, go lie down somewhere and listen to it, or like an audiobook or anything. It's not like that. It's important that you sit in front of your computer or the phone and focus and learn, because I use a lot of annotations. I show some arrows and such here and there for Rashi aspects. Most of these videos were at least watched twice by me, at least, to edit and add value to you. In case there were some errors, mistakes and such, they were corrected also. So you'll have to really focus on the videos when you're watching. You cannot just ignore the screen and do your chores and listen. That won't work. Okay. So I already mentioned this to you such that you're not forgetting about this point. Okay. So when I made this course, the idea was to actually teach this course in a basic way. I did not want to go into this depth and details and such. But the first part of the course itself expanded to 5 parts now, as you have seen. All right. And there are at least 5 more parts of cards of truth I want to teach with respect to the same examples at least, or maybe add some more examples. In the beginning, when I say it will be 5 parts, in the first video when I made, that is not the 5 parts that you're seeing now. There is 5 more parts I want to teach, okay, with respect to the cards itself. So I hope I can get to those videos as well at some point. Another thing I want to mention here is that if you plan to take any future courses with me, I would recommend you start from these courses, because all the rudiments, the fundamentals, the methodology of teaching, everything is in this. Okay. So if you start from here, you can in the future continue with the other courses that I will teach. Okay. So when it comes to these courses, unfortunately, I had to wear the hat of the Jack, Queen, King, and the tens. I had to do everything there. So it was delayed, and there was a lot of learning as well for me. And the beginning part, it takes time always. So now that it is set up, I hope in the future I can be a little bit more fast when it comes to delivering content and the videos. All right. All right. So let's go to the next slide. And this is a very important slide for me. All right. And this is an acknowledgement and a big thank you. I've taught approximately 330 videos, and there's a lot of content, approximately 250 hours of content. But this is the most important slide I want to reiterate. Okay. And here I want to actually thank Ernst for all his courses and other teachers of astrology that have helped me in this way, including Dr. B.V. Raman, K.N. Rao, and other astrologers from India, where I've learned from all of them. Okay. So in India, we say that Hara Munidaru Guru Kaivanu, that is my native language, Kannada, basically means that even if God is angry with you and curses you or does something that will hurt you, the Guru will protect you. Okay. So that is why actually first preference I give to the Guru here, which is Jupiter and Venus for me in their own ways, in their own roles they have filled in for all these concepts. Because when I wanted to teach, it was 2018, the Sade Sati started for me, and in the kind of experiences there, after that, knowing today, I cannot even imagine that where I've landed. All right. Looking back, it gives me goosebumps to even think that I could manage this. All right. And now in the peak of the Sade Sati, to deliver this is way beyond my capacity. So I honestly don't think it is me who is doing any of this. And I do not think I have a capacity to do all that things also. Okay. So it is only with the blessings of my elders, gurus, and goddess Saraswati Sharada here. Okay. Because of her, all this is happening. Literally, she's the one that is led to all this content. Okay. So all credit must be given to my teachers and the goddess Saraswati here. Nothing I take credit for. All right. Without their teachings as well as their power, nothing would have happened. Okay. I hope this is clear, and I take zero credit for all these things. Okay. Guru is the one that will take us towards even goddess Saraswati, right? That's why we say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. The interesting thing is, when I started to compile all these courses and the videos, the cards that ran, it started from Jupiter. It started with the King of Clubs on Jupiter, going towards the Two of Hearts on Venus, King of Spade on Saturn, Ace of Hearts on the Sun, 8 of Spade on the Moon, 6 of Spade on Mars, King of Spade on Mercury, Ace of Spade on Jupiter, a bunch of toes, and 9 of Clubs into different varieties. The reason I mentioned that at least is because you should get the idea. of what the kind of intensity that has gone into all these things. Because of the kings that I've run continuously, 2 king of spades and a king of clubs on all the important positions, just took the life force out of me, literally. Okay. So a lot of spade cards. I will keep the spade for myself. I request the patience from you with your clubs when you listen to these courses. Okay. And for me, when I sit in front of the astrology chart or the card spread and the astrology chart itself speaks to me. Okay. They are the gurus themselves for me. Okay. Especially the South Indian astrology chart and the card spread. One is for me Jupiter, the other is Venus here. Okay. So the astrology chart itself is one of the big teachers that we have, the zodiac, as well as the cards, right? So if you are willing to learn, they'll be able to teach you. That's all there is to this. Okay. So, but still that operates under the guidance of goddess Saraswati. So she's the one doing all these things, and all credit is at the feet of my gurus and goddess Saraswati here. So going forward, like I mentioned, there's a lot of things I want to cover and teach. I hope that in the next few years that I will be able to do the cards as well as the astrology. And there is at least 2 will be lengthy courses and 2 short courses on the tarot as well. And for sure, I want to get into the relationship part of astrology, the Rahu Ketu part and such. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, everything is at the hands of God and goddess Saraswati. If she thinks that it is possible at some point, I hope to deliver all that content. Okay. Because really looking back, I mean, even if I want to recreate all these things in this window, I don't think I'm able to do that. Because when your creative centers open up, right, the creative chakras or the creative ideas that you have, if it opens up in some sense under the blessing of goddess Saraswati, something interesting will happen. Okay. In the Vedic realm, normally when it comes to dance, Shiva is the god that we consider is the best dancer. All right. That's why there is a Shiva Tandava. And Tandava means it's a very intense form of dance that Shiva shows when it comes to that. Whereas goddess Saraswati is not associated with any dance or anything. Okay, she's very calm deity, peaceful deity. If you look at her itself, you'll see that she's extremely calm and peaceful. Divinity is shining, and you will be attracted towards her for that purpose. For me, the way I see it is when your creative centers opens up and you have to deliver that, or you are somewhere you have to come under the influence of all these grahas and the cards and such, goddess Saraswati will appear like she is in Tandava, okay? Because the energy center is acting in such a way that enormous ideas, enormous creativity will just explode out of nowhere. And that was the kind of phase I think I was in. So because of her blessings, like I said, all this has happened, and I hope in the future also I'll be able to create, okay? So this is the main message of the video I wanted to share with. And a big thank you once again to all my teachers, and a big thank you to people who have supported me all these years in this path. And I really hope you enjoy the content and the courses as much as I enjoyed creating it and doing these things. Okay. So see you in the next video.